A SARS-like virus, which has infected hundreds in China, has now reached the United States.
We have to fight that invisible enemy that, I guess, unknown, but we're getting to know it a lot better.
No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
2020 is a year of change and many challenges. We face many in our civilization's history, but none of these challenges have come together all at once in 1 year. Racial injustice, police brutality, economic recessions, and a global pandemic threatens the lives of people all over the world.
People realize, like, oh my God, this is a real deal. This is something serious.
So serious, in fact, that 662,738 human lives have been lost to date. That's more than the entire population of Vermont.
We are 5 months into this pandemic. More than 150,000 people have died of the coronavirus in the U.S.
So, how exactly did it get so bad? On January 21st, 2020, the first confirmed case of coronavirus was from a man in Washington who traveled from Wuhan, China, the origin of the coronavirus. Because of how contagious the virus actually is, it quickly spread all over the United States. President Donald Trump even downplayed the severity of the virus in the early days, calling it a Democratic hoax. And finally, on March 13, 2020, Trump declared national emergency and quarantine was quickly put into effect to reduce the spread of the disease.
Today, I am officially declaring a national emergency. Two very big words.
Because God works in mysterious ways, and even when bad things happen, and sometimes we need a wake-up call. I don't know if you've been noticing what the world's been going through, or whether you believe in God or not. But as far as consciousness, purpose, I guess, or morality, we do have a responsibility. If not to the human society, Mother Nature will check us on that.
We saw it coming. But then it was like, all right, it's going to fly over a couple of weeks. It'll be done. We'll be fine. But then I think things just changed after a few weeks into lockdown where it was like, okay, it's real. We really need to buck up, and this might be here for a while.
We really are traveling into an unknown and uncharted territory. And whenever I started thinking about that, I really, for panic mode to not set in, I really just had to sit and just let the frontal cortex take over and say, okay, this is happening, so let's accept it. And then after that, how are we going to move forward if this really is what they're saying that it is?
12 days after Trump announced national emergency for the pandemic, George Floyd, an African-American male, was killed by Derek Chauvin, a Caucasian police officer who placed his knee on Floyd's neck. His last words, "I can't breathe," sparked an angry protest in Minneapolis and even prompted to burning down a police precinct.
Airing information citywide, the 3rd precinct has been compromised.
3rd precinct is up in flames.
When I was around like 15 or 16, right? I was a foster kid, so I remember having a voucher to go to Kohl's, and I was excited. I got these fly outfits from Kohl's. I ended up putting my red hoodie, that I got from Kohl's. And, I was just walking around my city, I'm just chilling with my friends. I'm a 15-year-old kid having no idea of the situation. I remember this night and day. The cops come, harass me with 5 cop cars and guns first, questions later. I was thrown down to gunpoint, thrashed into the cop car, and I hear the police radio. I'm like, we have suspect in him. He has a red and black hoodie, appears to be a gang affiliated ogre. Just cause I was thrashed into a cop car and I was profiled a gangster just cause I was wearing a red and black hoodie. That's what Black Lives Matter is about.
When it was written in the Constitution that all men were created equal and all that, it didn't include Black lives. If that statement, all lives or all men, did not include Black lives, then what do then Black people have to do?
Since then, protesters have broken out all over the world. With all of this turmoil, negativity, and chaos going on, it can be hard to cope in a rapidly changing world. So, how can we find peace in chaos?
Like, a lot of people feel as though change brings along a lot of fears.
Whenever changes like these happen, it's always opportunity that needs to be observed.
Life is always going to change. You're always going to be moving forward. Therefore, there's always going to be constant change. But actual growth within those changes, that's up to you.
And so what can you do from that? Now, I think it all goes back on thinking positive, and the rest will follow. And the reason why I say that is because it helps you grow.
For me, that the silver lining is that people are now starting to think, oh, they're more aware. And with awareness comes light.
Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstance, to choose one's own way.
Every person, there's one thing that they all should be doing, is to have hope.
Like, seeing yourself as a whole being and a force of nature.
For me, we are souls living in a body, and so you are experiencing life, right?
When we stand in the midst of life's many storms, we still hold the capacity to stand in the eye of the storm and know that the storm will soon fade away.